हाँ जी जी। वासुदेव। हरि ओम। शं नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वर्यमा शं न इंद्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। सर्ववेदार्थतत्त्वज्ञं वेदार्थप्रतिपादकं पुराणसारसर्वज्ञं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं प्राच्यपाश्चात्यदेशानां समन्वयविधायकं शान्तं सौम्यगुणोपेतं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Welcome to all our brothers and sisters. So last week we have studied aphorism 26, in which Patanjali has explained about Ishvara and now we are studying aphorism 27. तस्य वाचकः प्रणवः। तस्य वाचकः प्रणवः means tasya means his. So his means it is the reference to Ishvara. Vachakaha means utterance. Pranavaha means Om, Pranava. So the utterance of the Lord is called Pranava. So Pranava It is the sound which we have to use to call him Ishvara, indweller, and also it is the sound which is being heard by us as the call from Ishvara, the Lord. When He calls us also, then we hear this sound as His call. So this sound is the letter Om, which is called Pranava. When we utter this, it can be heard as the name of the Lord. It's Pranava. But the impulse to utter or to call Him is the impulse which we receive from the indweller, the Lord, the Ishvara. And this impulse is His call from within ourselves, and it is also Pranava. So He calls us by uttering Om from inside to give an impulse for us to utter His name. Then we call Him by uttering Om. This is a wonderful aphorism here, which is a key given by Patanjali for us. So the utterance of the Lord, the indweller, is twofold. One is the utterance of the name of the Lord. By whom? By the spiritual man who is ourselves. Ourselves means our real form is the spirit or the soul. So the man, the spiritual man means the man as the soul. We utter. So I utter the name of the Lord indweller. So who is the one who is uttering the name of the Lord, who is taking the name of the Lord, is the man, the individual, who is the soul or the spirit. He is the indweller of this body. So we have to consider these two aspects. One is the individual man, who is not just the body, but who is the light, in the form of the light, that is the soul. Soul is the real form, and all the other forms what we have around, they are the abode or the instrument. So I said that the utterance of the Lord is twofold. Twofold means one is the utterance of this individual, the man. What does he utter? He utters the name of the Lord. The individual, that means every one of us, our real existence is as the soul. That is our real existence. It is not just the frame the physical body. But our real existence is the soul. So the spiritual man who is there as indweller in this body. And the second aspect is the Lord, who is there present in every being, in the form of the inner light, the Lord. So the second aspect of this utterance is, it is the utterance of the Lord. First one is the utterance of the individual. The second aspect is the utterance of the Lord, who calls forth the indwelling man into existence. How we came into existence? We came into existence by receiving the call from the Lord indweller. That's how we came into existence. So the existence of man is due to the coexistence of two aspects, which we have been discussing several times. What is that? What I am and what I have. These two aspects we should never forget. What I am is the Lord, and what I have is His light. So what I am and what I have, these two aspects, they coexist. So with this coexistence of what I am and what I have, that is how we are, every one of us, we are able to exist. Without this coexistence, we have no existence. So, which keeps this what I am and what I have together. What is that? That is called, that element is called prana. Because you know what? There are two aspects. What I am and what I have. So what I am is the Lord in us. What I have is this body and all these instruments. This is all what I have. Mind and all these things, instruments. So what is it that keeps these two aspects, what I am and what I have, together to coexist in the form? It is like an adhesive which keeps, when you want to keep two things together, always, then what you do, you use some adhesive. And by using the adhesive, you keep two things together, held together, each holds other together. This we know. So in this, here, in this context, what I am is the Lord, and what I have is the instrument. All the other things are what I have. These two coexist in the man, the human being. Man means the being. These two coexist. And what is it that keeps these together? These two together is, it is prana, the pulsation, which is expressed through the vital force in us. And this pulsation is maintained by a double aspect, double process. What is the double process? Inhalation and exhalation, which together we call it respiration. So what we call respiration is a double process of inhalation and exhalation which goes on alternatively every moment. This we know. Every one of us we know, we have to know, we know. We know that we know that every moment respiration is going on in us. That we are sure. Because if it was not there, we will not be there. Since we are here, alive, so it is a confirmation that respiration is going on, continuing every moment. So what is respiration? It is a double process, an alternation of inhalation and exhalation. So this we have to remember very clearly, without confusion. So this process, double process, is maintained by the double pulsation of inhalation and exhalation, which we call respiration. So the inhalation is done through the magic power of the sound vibration. So there is a sound vibration. Sound is vibration. What we call sound, what we call color, all these are vibrations. The vibrations in different frequencies produces the required sound. This we know. Vibration. Due to the power of the sound vibration, so inhalation is maintained. Exhalation is done by the sound vibration, hum. So we have a double process. One is inhalation and one is exhalation. So inhalation is maintained inhalation is done through the magic power of the sound vibration. So is a vibration. So, like this, it is a vibration, sound vibration. And exhalation is done by another sound vibration, hum, like that. So this hum, it forms the mantra of coexistence of what I am and what I have. What I am is the indweller. What I have is this instrument, this body, senses and mind, all this put together. What I have. So this is so when the consonants, you see, in so we have the consonant S, and in hum we have the consonant ha. When these two consonants are dropped off, then the remainder is Om. When you write down so and drop the consonant S, so, then what is it that remains is O. And aham, in that hum, in that when you drop H, which is called ha, you drop that, then what is the remainder? Then you have Om. Om is the indweller, who is the Lord and a spiritual man, I am. So Om represents both the dweller, indweller, the I am, and also the Lord, both. So, a recollection of the sacred word Om, it serves the utterance of the name of the Lord. When you utter Om, you are uttering the name of the Lord. Then you may think that name of which Lord? It is name of one Lord. Here we must be very clear. When we utter Om, does it mean the utterance of the name of the Lord who is worshipped by a particular religion or sect? No. Om is the name of the Lord who is beyond all these limitations of religion or sect and all the things. That is above all these things. All the limited, these are all limitations. So you leave the limitations. When you utter the Om, it utters the name of one Lord. You may call him by different name, but that makes no difference here. Whether you call him Lord Narayana or you call him Vasudeva or you call him Buddha or you call him Christ, by whatever name you call him, but the one Lord whose name is Om. That is what he is explaining here in this aphorism. It is not a new thing. What does he explain here? You see, don't think that Patanjali has brought something new which was not there before. No, he never said like that. He never claimed that he brought something new which was not there hitherto. No. Nobody. So it is the same Lord who was explained in Bhagavad Gita, same Lord who was explained in all the holy scriptures. So it is universal. Om is universal name of the one Lord. You may belong to any religion, any sect, don't worry. That is a different level. But this is highest level which is governed by the one Lord of the universe. He is called Ishvara. So, what is being explained here in this aphorism is, in the past few aphorisms, Patanjali was explaining about Ishvara. How to know Ishvara, that was explained. And in this aphorism, he is explaining how should you call him, how you can contact him. consciously, not during sleep, not during dreams, not during any other situations. You can call him any moment because he is there as indweller in you, in every one of us. He is present as the indweller. You see. So therefore, it is for everybody who entered into the practice of yoga. The fulfillment is that we call him by his name, which is Om. Om is the name of the Lord. All the other names we can call, we can use the names. There is no, you need not give away all the names which you always are familiar, which you are calling the Lord by other names. That is not eliminated, that is not prohibited at all. But the one real common name of the Lord, of the one Lord of the universe is Om. So he will respond to us when you call him by that name Om. Because he is very, very nearer to us. Who is very nearer and dearer to every being? You know who is that? We may say that. We may say, yes, if somebody puts a question, who is very nearer and dearer to you? If somebody asks. Then, yes, my wife is very nearer and dearer to me. Yes, my husband is very near and dear to me. Or my son, or my daughter, or my mother, or my father, my friend. All. So, okay. But there is someone else who is more nearer to you. Nobody is more nearer than that someone else. Who is that? Without my knowledge. Don't worry. You know him, but you don't know that you know. You know him, but you don't know that you know him. This is a bit deceiving type of expression. Every being knows him, the Lord who is there, indweller in every being. Therefore you have to know, you know automatically. But you don't know that it is he who is the real one, existing as I am. Because this aphorism is, we have to study this aphorism again, and again. Because in this aphorism he has given how you can call forth this Lord, the indweller. You can call him. So what is the mobile number? There is only one letter. You need not remember big numbers and big names. Only very simple. One letter, that is the number, that is the name. What is that? Om. Is it so simple? Yes. We cannot believe. We can never believe something which is very simple and straight and direct. Never. We don't believe that easily. Because in our expectation, it is to call the Lord of the universe, the indweller, to see him, to call him, to speak with him, is not simple, very difficult. That is how we feel. But the fact is, to call him and his response to our call is always simple and direct. That is what Patanjali proves here. He is explaining in his aphorism and not only just mentioning. He has given the procedure how you can have this. It is same thing you find in Bhagavad Gita also, the Vedas, the scriptures. Where is the abode? Where is the address of this Ishvara, the Lord of the universe? Where is his address? The answer is, his address where he lives is very near to you. From where you got this question? When you asked where is his address, this question started in you from where? So he dwells there only where this question started to you. This is something shocking we never heard before like this. We think always that if we want to see, if you want to call, if you want to speak to Ishvara, his address is very far in heavens. Very, very far in heavens. That is how you interpret the teachings of the scriptures. But where is that heaven? We will look up into the sky. Heaven means we show like that. And hell means we show under our feet. Yes, it is. In the beginning, you have to, when the mother should tell some story to the child, first it is to be told like this only. Heaven will be there, hell will be here. But now you will know the fact. It is nowhere else, it is in you. So therefore, if you want to call the Lord, he is there immediately in you. You can call him anytime, any moment if you want. The only thing is, if you want to call him, call him. That is what he says, tasya vachakaha pranavaha. Tasya vachakaha pranavaha. The utterance to call forth the Lord is the utterance is pranava. Pranava means Om. Why it is called pranava? The sound or the one letter Om is called pranava in Sanskrit. Why it is called pranava? How this name is given? Pranava. Nava means new. The same, see, Nava in Sanskrit, it is new. Means always new. It's never old. Pranava, always new, always. Whenever you utter, it is there. It is ready. So the address of the address of Ishvara is within yourself. When you call him, he will reply from within yourself. That is what he says. Tasya vachakaha pranavaha. So what is meant by this? We have to go a bit deeper into this. Tasya vachakaha pranavaha. The utterance to call forth, to call him is pranava. So it is the sound Om. The sound Om, which is the one letter sound, is called pranava. Why all this? Is because in the previous aphorisms he said, you can attain samadhi through vairagya but by making a total surrender to the Lord, the indweller. That is what was explained in the previous aphorisms. With many examples we have studied that. A total surrender. Ishvara pranidhanadva, that we have studied previously. In the previous aphorism, Ishvara pranidhana, a total surrender to the Lord, the indweller, that we can attain that state of samadhi. But to make a total surrender, we must know who is that fellow, where is that fellow, how can we make that? You see, if I want to give something to some person, we have to call him, we have to see, we have to reach him, we have to call him, we have to transact with him. Then only you can give and you can surrender, you can make yourself surrender. Without knowing to whom you will surrender, whom you don't know. So when he said in the previous aphorisms, you can make a total surrender of yourself, Ishvara pranidhana, completely make a total surrender yourself. Attach everything of yours to the Lord indweller, Ishvara. Oh yes. So then we must know the address where I can meet him. We want to have a contact address or contact number so that we can call him. We can save this number or contact thing in your mobile and immediately call the mobile. Ishvara, where are you? If you call by that number, what is that number? Om. Letter or number or anything, it is only one letter, only one sound. Om. You have to utter this. That sound is, this sound is, which is called pranava, this sound brings you close, nearer to the indweller who is always nearer to you. There is no distance. He is within yourself, within everybody, within yourself. And one day, when you call the impulse, when you got the impulse to call him, because when you have studied this, you have to make a total surrender by which you will attain the state. Then you think of it, and then one day you will decide that, yes, I should make a total surrender to him, to the Lord. So you are convinced by studying the previous aphorisms and by the explanation from the Patanjali and also from the Bhagavad Gita, from all these, then you got convinced, yes, I have to surrender to the Lord. But how? If I want to make a total surrender to the Lord, I must know where is he, what is his name, where is his address, how can I contact him, how can I call him, how can I knock the door of his. Now, I have to knock at the door of Ishvara so that he should open and call us inside, call me inside. How it can be possible? Yes, it is possible by uttering the name to call him forth, the name of the Lord. By what name? By which name I have to call? You know, this is there in every scripture. This riddle is in the form of an allegorical story in every scripture. You know, in the Old Testament, Moses when he was on the Mount Sinai, he heard the voice of God. Where? And he has seen a bush burning, it is called burning bush, where light is emanating. Rays of light, golden yellow light are emanating from this in the bush. And from there he heard the sound. He was called by the Lord. And then he has seen that light. He heard the voice of God, Lord, the one Lord, the one God. He heard the voice, he has seen that emanating light from the bush. You know, this burning bush is a symbol of our heart. All those stories we find in the scriptures are symbolic stories, don't forget. We must know what is symbolized by this. So it is burning bush is our heart. Because the Lord indweller is there in that center of our consciousness, which is our heart. So what he has given 10 commandments. The rules according to the law. So he has given those 10 commandments. This is the story in Old Testament. I think most of you know this story. And what was the instruction at the end the Lord has given is to Moses, he said, you go and bring these 10 commandments to the people as my word. And then Moses asked, they will ask me, what is the name of your God? Then what should I tell him? Tell them, what is your name? And what he said? I am. That I am. in Sanskrit, the same, exactly the same, aham asmi. So aham asmi. I am, that I am. It is only difference in language. Content is the same. So what is the name of the Lord? He said, I am. Aham. So aham. So ham. See, that is what is said. The Sivachaka Pranavaha. Pranavaha is Om. Where is this Om? So ham. So this is how to call him, how to call the Lord. There is only one letter which you can use, that is Om, Pranava. That is what Patanjali says in this aphorism, Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha. Exactly this same thing is given in Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 8, in stanza 13, what he said is, think yourself as Om. Om Ekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mamanusmaran. He said, think of Om, yourself as Om. No, you have to know that Om as I am. Om is I am. You read the 13th stanza in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Think of yourself as Om. You know Om as I am. One who leaves his body like this travels to the highest plane of consciousness. What does it mean? That means, he says that to call Isra you have to leave the body. Does it mean that you have to die? No, no. Leaving the body need not be only at the time of death. Leaving the body means withdrawing the activities of the body into yourself, Om. This is the leaving the body. This is the meaning of that. And in the 11th stanza, just now I mentioned stanza 13. In the 11th stanza, he has explained about what is this one letter. It is the letter beyond the letters of the alphabets of this universe. You can read this in Mandra scripture. All of you, you have Mandra scripture with you. Bhagavad Gita. In English, you have Mandra scripture. Chapter 8, stanza 11, stanza 13. You can read exactly what you find here in this aphorism. So in stanza 11, it says, it is a letter beyond the letters of the alphabet of this universe. He is explaining about what is Om. By wisdom, they mean only the import of this letter. It is the Veda of the Vedic books. It is the content and import of the scriptures. Any scripture. The seers of wisdom utter it out as the activity of their life. By self-control and non-attachment, they enter it and live in it. By an attempt towards it, they live in the cosmic consciousness. What is cosmic consciousness? It is Brahma. So that is what you find in Bhagavad Gita. So from the very beginning, I am reminding you that what is given in the form of aphorisms by Patanjali is exactly what is given in Bhagavad Gita by the Lord. Their Lord has given in Bhagavad Gita as a teaching to his disciple Arjuna. He has given exactly the same. He has given in the form of his explanation, what he was explaining his disciple. Here it is given in the form of aphorism by Patanjali. Exactly the same. So that letter, which is called Akshara. Akshara means indestructible. Kshara means destruction. Akshara means it is undestructible. The one letter which is undestructible, which is uttered forth by the seers who know the scripture. They utter and they enter into it. And by entering into it, they are experiencing whom they are experiencing, the Lord indweller. Then when we explain this like this, someone will get a question in the mind. Someone may ask a question. Yes. What is the question? Someone make that. What is the speciality of this letter Om? Why not other letters? There are many letters. There are many syllables, many letters, many sounds. Why Om only? Why you call Ishvara by uttering the letter only Om? Why not other letter? Why Om is the name of Ishvara? And how do you know his name? His name is Om. All these questions will arise in our mind. Whenever you study this aphorism and whenever you explain to others or whenever you study together, then these questions will arise in our mind. Why only Om is given as the letter, as the name of the Lord? Why not other letters? Why in this aphorism he says, Dasya vachakah pranavaha? The letter to call him is Pranava, Om. Everywhere in the scriptures, in the Puranas, in the Vedas, in the Puranas, in all the scriptures, everywhere, you find this only confirmed. Again and again you find this at many places in many scriptures. What is it that is explained in the Veda is that you have to utter this out, this sound Om, so that you can listen your sound. You utter this loudly. You need not utter it secretly or slowly. If somebody will listen or not, don't worry. You can utter as loudly as possible. Om, you can utter. So that you can listen first. First of all, you should be able to listen very clearly your own sound. You utter it so clearly and listen to that sound. This is the first step, what you have to do. Utter the sound and listen to the sound. You practice this. If you want to know why Om only is set to be the one letter to call Ishvara by name, you will know when you follow this step. So utter the sound Om vocally, listen to the sound. That's the first step. What is the procedure then? Should we utter while we are running, or should we utter while we are doing something? No, the right procedure is given very clearly. You remember, previously we have also studied about pranayama. Most of you remember that. Most of you are doing that also, practicing that. Therefore you know that. So, first of all, you have to select a place, a pure place. That is also explained in this Bhagavad Gita. Very clearly explained it was. In chapter 6, in stanza 11 and 12, he has explained that take your mental abode in a pure place. Very clearly he has given the instruction. Very clear instruction he has given. You can by yourself you can study that. Take your mental abode in a pure place. Then every place is pure to you. You can read this in Mandra scripture. In chapter 6, stanza 12. You can also physically seek for a pure abode temporarily. Sit up stable in mind. You can sit stable physically also if you want. Sit neither too high nor too low. Physically also you can do so by having a comfortable seat on a mat, a deer skin or a piece of cloth. But it is necessary for you to eliminate the sense of high and low in your mind. Bring the mind to a point by proposing that within yourself. Let the activity of your senses be withdrawn into that. Let the activity of mind come to that. Sit thus in your asana within yourself. Link up your consciousness with your synthesized whole. This is the process of purifying yourself by yourself. In chapter 6 he has given. So you have to utter this by practicing through your inhalation and exhalation, process of pranayama. You have to practice to sit effortlessly, select the same time, close the eyes, observe every part of your body to eliminate any sort of blockage or tension. Be at ease and then start uttering Om. And while uttering, keep listening to that sound. If you do not listen to the sound while uttering, it is utterly useless. It is very important. As long as you are uttering, you keep hearing. Then what happens when you practice this? Keep uttering and keep listening to that. Then you will know that what you are uttering is the name of the Lord who is there within yourself. That is what is explained in this aphorism. So what you are uttering as Om, which you are listening continuously, uttering and listening to it, then you will realize that it is the call, it is the name of the indweller, the Lord, Ishvara. So that is how you have to call him. Because that is the key letter, key sound to call him, to call Ishvara. Now in this aphorism, we have studied in the beginning that it is twofold. In this aphorism, what he said is twofold. What is this twofold is that it is you are trying to call him by his name, Om, by uttering his name. But it is also the call from him to you. This you will know while you are uttering. When you start calling him by uttering his name, Om, when you start uttering this, listening to it, and start calling him by his name, Om, then you will come to know that he is also calling you with the same name from within yourself. That means this sound letter Om establishes a communion with the Lord, the indweller in you. See. And this communion is possible only while you are uttering and listening, not at other times. So you may know this, but you may know this, you might be knowing this since many years, okay. But even then, the communion will be there only while you are uttering and listening. That's the very important. Whether you know it for a long time, you say, oh, I know this since 50 years, okay, very good. But even then, your communion with the Lord is there only while you are uttering and listening to that, not other times. Whether you know or don't know, that's another thing. You may know it very well. You may know that it is Ishvara who is calling in you. It is Om. He is calling you by Om, by the name Om. You are calling him by his name Om. All this you may know after some time. But the knowing itself is not enough. That's what we have to understand. Communion between you and the Lord indweller will be there only while you are uttering and listening, not other times. When you stop, communion stops. While I have been uttering this for many years, why should it stop? It should continue. If it is to be continued, you have to continue uttering it. That is the only thing. How is this? You may think that because when you are asked to practice this, you may feel that what is it for many years I have been uttering Om. Every day I am uttering Om several times. Yes, utter it. Okay. Uttering and listening to it. Yes, I have been doing this. So how it should be? Since many years I have been uttering and listening, this communion with the indweller Lord Ishvara should continue all the times. Why it should stop when I stop uttering? Huh? Very simple. Just you take the example, you are working with your machine. And you are plugged into the power socket, you wanted to have the light for your study, for your work. So you have plugged in your light, you have put into the plugged in and power is there. So if you say what will happen if I switch it off, then power will go off, light will go off. Why it should go off? Because you have switched off. As long as you are connected to it, it continues. When you disconnected it, it discontinues. It's so simple. What's there? It doesn't mean that the power is not there. All power is there, but you are not connected. That is the thing. Power is always there, everywhere. In the space around you, within you, the Lord is there. He is always there. But your communion with Him will be there as long as you keep connected with Him. And the connection is by uttering Om. That is the only connection. While you are uttering and listening to it, then you are connected. Then you have the communion. When you stop uttering it, then you are disconnected. You may say that I have been doing this practice of this yoga since 10 years, so it should continue all the time. Yes, it is. Ishvara is continuing all the time, that's why you are alive. You remember that. As long as Ishvara is along with you as the indweller, you are there in the body. Otherwise you are not there, you cannot be in the body. So therefore Ishvara is always there. There is no cut of the power by itself. This uninterrupted. Ishvara is always there with us, with every one of us. But you should not disconnect. That is where you are disconnecting yourself by stopping to utter Om. That is the secret. Then you may ask, okay, but then when I am sleeping, when I am in sleep, but he doesn't sleep. It doesn't matter if you sleep, but he doesn't sleep. He is constantly uttering. If he sleeps, what happens? Your breath will stop. You will not get awakened again in that birth, in that body. Every time when we are sleeping, who is it, the fellow who is sleeping in you, in us? It is only our senses and mind, not the indweller. You should remember that during the sleep, it is only our senses and mind that are getting into sleep, but our apparatus, our body, all the systems is not sleeping. If it sleeps, then we will not come back. When the heart gets into sleep, when the heart stops, then what happens? You will not be there anymore. So your apparatus is not sleeping, that you have to understand that, dear fellow, what is the element that is sleeping while I say I am sleeping? What is it sleeping in you? It is only your mind and senses, that's all. Not your apparatus. All the systems are working always, continuously, as long as you are in the body, alive. And the indweller also never sleeps. He doesn't need any sleep. It's continuous, active. So the apparatus and the indweller of the apparatus, they will not sleep. Only these two fellows, the employees, his mind and senses, they are employed. So they will confine only, they will make some hours of work. They say, oh, we work for 8 hours. After that, so these fellows, sound, mind and senses, these are like that. Because the mind feels that, oh, I am exhausted. I must have a rest. But when we have not entered into the study and practice of yoga, then what happens? We get identified with our body, with our senses, with our mind. Therefore we say, I am sleeping, I am awake. The real I am is never sleeping. We will know this afterwards. Ishvara never sleeps. Why he never sleeps? Because he is never exhausted. Very simple. We sleep means our mind sleeps because it is exhausted. Why? Because the mind always works with a great speed. It needs rest. Our senses and mind get tired. So they need sleep. We feel our body is tired. Yes, we feel that. That is true. We feel it on our body that, oh, I have worked so much that I feel very much tired. Yes, okay. You are feeling that. That's what is explained, that your senses and mind are exhausted. Your body needs a resting position, but the apparatus inside, the laboratory inside, the apparatus, your systems inside are not at sleep. It is like, your server in the office. Do you shut down a server? In a big company, server is never shut down. It's continuously going on. You may go home and you may sleep and come back, but not the server. So the systems of your body, the nervous system, the circulatory system, all the systems of your body are constantly working. Only the physical activity stops because your mind and senses stop to work. That's what you call sleep. So here in this, when you get a question that when I stop calling him by uttering Om, when you stop but he doesn't stop, that is the answer. So therefore he constantly keeps on uttering Om from within yourself. This we must remember. This is confirmedly explained in Bhagavad Gita as well as by Patanjali, and also you can find this from all the scriptures. I tell you. He never stops, Ishvara, the Lord never stops to call him. He is constantly uttering Om. How can I know he is uttering Om? When you observe yourself how you are uttering Om, then you will know that. Oh. So you can observe yourself by practicing the process prescribed and described in pranayama. That is the only way how you can know. So, any number of times when you stop uttering Om, then you are disconnected from him, but he never disconnects from you. This we have to remember. You must know that while you are uttering Om, only during that time consciously you are there in contact and you are there in him, in Ishvara. Then only, that time only you know that you are with Ishvara. Other times you don't know, you forget again. For that, what is required is repeat the practice. That is what is called abhyasa, which we have studied in the beginning. That is why Patanjali has given abhyasa as an implement which you have to apply again and again. Abhyasa. But you may say that, you may ask that, oh, how many years I have to spend on this? That depends upon your intensity in practicing that. There is no need to take such a long time for so many years or so many births if you practice that properly. This is also very clearly explained in Bhagavad Gita. To attain that state, how many births I have to wait? You need not wait if you can do that properly as it is clearly given. According to if you follow the instructions properly, and if you have the intended attitude to have it sincerely, and if you put practice for that purpose, then it's not so long. You can get it in a short time. That is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. The procedure is very short. There is not a long procedure. You know, we have been practicing this together. And we have studied this many times about this pranayama process. It is not a very long procedure. It's not a difficult procedure, it's not a long procedure, it's not a procedure which takes many hours of your daily life. No. It's only some minutes. And how many regulations? Very few regulations. There is only discipline, and there is no punishment in this. So you should not think it may take many decades. No. Within very short time you can have it. You can get into it. So then please explain, if it is like that, how can I get into this? Then he said, in the 6th chapter, in the 12th stanza, which I told you, you can study that in mantra scripture very clearly. You select a pure place, then you practice to attain the stability. That is what he said. Stability in the mind. So you avoid the sense of height and low. That is what he said. He explained all this in this stanza. We can study it again and again in Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter. So there is also another aphorism of Patanjali where he explained one of the 8 steps. One is pranayama, which we are studying it, and the other is asana. Asana means not just hatha yoga asanas. Here what is mentioned about asana is stability in ease. That is asana. What is he said? Sthira sukham asanam. So you have only few instructions. You select a pure place, you select a particular time, you try to practice this exactly at that time. That's very important. If you do this one day at one time, another day at another time, then it will be difficult for you, because your apparatus will not respond if you will not keep time. You cannot believe this. You cannot believe this because you never observed this. For example, if you sit near the table to eat at 8 o'clock in the morning, for example, today, tomorrow, by that time, your system gets ready automatically because it has a memory. Your system has its own memory, you know. This is because they are the devas who work on this. So today, you have taken your food at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, by that time, your digestive system gets ready to receive the food. But what we do? Tomorrow we may have some other program, so you may sit for eating at 10 o'clock. Then what happens? Your system will be waiting for you at 8 o'clock, but you have not taken food. So after some minutes of waiting, then it stops. then it will not, because it doesn't know at what time you will eat. When you want to start eating at 10 o'clock, then the clock is disturbed in you. So the system will not be ready for that. So from then onwards, for a few days, if you eat at 10 o'clock, then your system will be reset for 10 o'clock. And then once it is reset for 10 o'clock, when you change the time again, then what happens? Your system will be disturbed. We do not observe all these things because we have more important things than this. We have more important things than observing our body and our system to follow. All the other beings will not do that in the creation, only the human fellow, who is a bit idiotic in these aspects. He may be very intelligent in his work, in his profession, all these things, but at the same time he behaves like an idiot in this aspect, observing his body, his own system. Because he doesn't know that there is such wonderful precision in the activity of our system. We don't think of that. We say, whenever your mind says, whenever you want to eat, it is not good. You keep a time, follow the time to eat, to drink, to rest. You keep timing, then your body will respond properly, because it will be tuned according to that. If you keep disturbing your rhythm very often, what happens? There will be disorder. Then this is one of the causes to disturb your health. Health of your vital force, health of your mind, health of your body, everything is disturbed because you have no proper orientation. Let's see. Why it is like so? Why? What is the question? Why? You see, when you eat today at this particular time, tomorrow the digestive system with all the enzymes and all these things because enzymes and all these things are secreted by the glands, they will be already there. The digestive enzymes will be secreted and they will be already there. The body thinks that you are going to eat, but you fellow, you do not eat that time. So all these enzymes which are secreted will go a waste. You do not know this, you do not consider this. Even though you are a science student, even then you cannot correlate this. You see, that is what is happening. You may be a doctor, you may be a professor, you may be anything, but it does not observe these things. Eat today at that particular time, tomorrow in a particular time. That is how you disturb your instrument very often. That's why you fall sick, mentally and physically. The vital force is disturbed. That is why he is clearly explained that you select a time, you select a place. Try to stick on for that place and for that time to practice. That is what he said. Then only you will know about Ishvara, that how he is responding in you. Otherwise you cannot know. The communion between you and Ishvara cannot be properly established when you are not disciplined to keep all these things. You see? So you have to practice this. You have to practice this in the same manner. This pranayama and this procedure. So it was very clearly given, the pranayama. Sit and observe your body Close your eyes and observe your body from the top of the head till the tip of the toes. Observe every part and try to eliminate any sort of tension anywhere, in any muscle, in any nerve in there. Eliminate it. Observe it. If there is any tension, you have to remove it. You have to, and then what happens? When you practice this for some time, then your body gets tuned to it. Then you will get into this awareness. So this is what is important for you. When you get into this awareness will be there for all the 24 hours in you. When once you get into this awareness, then you are not at all disturbed wherever you are. For example, when Master said, you sit in prayer 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening. In the beginning you have to make an effort. But once when you are tuned to this, wherever you are, your inner alarm will remind you it's time for prayer. Then that fellow will definitely, wherever he is enter into prayer. See, this is how you have to tune yourself, your system. You see? So therefore now this aphorism is so important. We have to study it very clearly. How to have this communion with the indweller, this Ishvara in us. So this is about this aphorism, what is explaining. You need more explanation, more study of this aphorism. That we will continue next class. Vasudeva. Thank you all. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति 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 वासुदेव।